half ago, I made this video called the easiest and hardest characters to learn in Street Fighter 6. The idea being it would help new players get into the game and kind of be a quick character overview of each character. I'm not going to remake that video. I think this video actually holds up really well still because the core tenets of the character's game plan hasn't changed at all. But there are a few things I've learned. A few of these placements I think are incorrect, and a bunch of new characters have been added since I made this video. So let's talk about that. And we'll start first with this list. Overall, I think this list is pretty accurate, but I would make a few changes. One, I think characters that can use modern, of course, are always like going to be way stronger in lower ranks, right? So if I think of like ease of use or like, you know, your first like 200 hours, right? Maybe in order to get to diamond, if you play modern, you're going to get to diamond way quicker than someone not playing modern. It's just a fact of life. I think eventually it evens out, but for the purpose of this list, just pretend they're all classic. But if they're modern, they go up like a tier or two, right? But Guile, I don't think really benefits from modern, so I would probably move him down a little bit. Where characters like Ryu, Ken, Luke, they can kind of do the same thing as Guile, but not like you know, just one button DPs, right? Where Guile, you have to charge for his flash kick. I think Marisa I should put in super easy. This character is super scrubby at low level. You kind of just spam Gladius, spam the overhead punch, spam the medium target combo. Congrats on diamond. Maybe I'd probably move up JP. I think he's kind of a scrub killer, right? Because as long as you get your anti-airs down and you just get some of the zoning patterns down, I think you can ascend the ranks pretty fast. And the last one is Zangief. I don't know why I was thinking of Zangief, honestly. I mean, he was really bad in season 1 when I made this. He's gotten buffed a lot. In particular, some of his scrub strats, like spamming the overhead kick, have gotten a lot better. So I think overall Zangief's probably one of the easier characters because you have one button anti-air, you have very strong neutral skip tools like the back heavy punch that has armor and the wheel kick. Yeah, I don't think his Oki is that hard to understand, and I think he's really good in modern, which really helps. But overall, I think pretty similar, and the character overviews are still the same. But I want to talk about the new characters, right? This is what I kind of came up with for my tier list. I think it's a little debatable. I think Bison by far is the easiest character out of the new DLCs. And then I think Mai, Terry, Akuma, all pretty similar. Same thing with Rashid, and then Ed and Aki being the hardest. So I'll go through each of them really quick and talk about, you know, the basic strategies, basic overview, and what makes each of them easy or hard. Okay, so I think Bison, he's a perfect blend of scrub killer moves and just a really intuitive, easy to understand moveset, right? Anti-air, one button anti-air, pretty decent. Also, you know, the thing about advancing the low ranks is having a really strong anti-air is really useful. Bison is probably one of the easiest and most intuitive air-to-airs to use in the game. Bomb, if you ever land this, kind of just carry you, right? Most people don't know how to deal with this, and even at high level, it's very, very, very strong. He has one of the best EX moves in the game, EX Psycho Crusher, which you just literally could throw out. Like, you don't have to think about it. If you think it's gonna hit or you think they're gonna throw a fireball, you do it. If it hits, you get a knockdown. If it's blocked, it's safe and you're not even in throw range. Very, very strong EX move. And then you also have scissors, which these moves are very, very strong, essentially safe on block as long as you space it out correctly, and just destroys new players. As you can see, I'm kind of chunking away their gauge, and I'm pushing them back to the corner, right? And if you need a little bit of scrub killer, you have doubles reverse. This move, I think, is just a free win in before diamond. Literally just do the follow up, your plus on block, and you get dubs. And you can also like fake out in case they're like trying to be like a modern reaction player. You have so many different like ways to vary this that I think Bison just very easy, and you have multiple different ways to kind of get your win condition. Yeah, I mean, Devil's Reverse is still good at Master. A lot of these things are still good at Master. And speaking of good at Master, Terry. I think Terry had a huge glow up after the most recent patch that buffed him. Very straightforward game plan, especially in modern, right? Throw fireballs. If they jump, do DP. The kick, the move where he kicks is actually a punch that annoys me to no end. And do Bird Knuckle. This move is probably one of the best regular specials in the game. The fact that you're +1 on block at the right range, and you get a nice juicy combo. Being +1 on block, Means you get nice mix up into damage into whatever you want, right? That's pretty much it for Terry. Very straightforward game plan. He obviously, you know, he has good drive rush. He has some decent buttons and stand medium kick, stand heavy kick, but just very well rounded because this burn knuckle really locks them into place, which lets you do stuff like crouch medium kick and that sort of thing. His whole kit just kind of comes together pretty well, and you don't need to use that many tools. Speaking of which, this crouch medium kick is insanely strong, considering target combo that meterlessly confirms into a knockdown. Usually heavy knuckles the way to do it, and then you get mix up, dash forward throw, and keep repeating. All right, congrats, you're in diamond. Pretty straightforward character. Another straightforward character is Mai, who just came out. Very similar to Terry. Actually, they share very similar buttons, like the stand medium kick, stand heavy kick, have very similar purposes. Same thing with crouch medium punch. They both have a DP for anti-air. They both have a fireball. The thing is, Mai doesn't have burn knuckle. That's probably the main disadvantage of Mai. You don't have like a very easy neutral skip, right? You have this move, but this is not good to just kind of throw out, right? In contrast, Mai has, in my opinion, the best EX special move in the game, which is EX fan. You use it, you dash in, you get a full combo, now they're in the corner, and you have the same throw loop as Terry. You can just dash forward, throw over and over, and the throw loop's actually better because you can walk back, bait the throw. Very good character, especially for beginners, because her game plan is just very intuitive. That's really all you're doing. Of course, you know, Terry and Mai, they have pretty good drive rushes, and they can do a lot of stuff out of them, and you know, Mai's even regular charge fireball is good. But all three of these characters, I put them in this row because they either have very strong tools at low level, or their game plans are pretty simplistic, right? And some of the more complex stuff, so for example, with Mai, like you get her level 1 gives you fire stocks. It's not even that hard to use. You just get the fire stocks and now just throw fireballs that are now better. Congrats. That's the main way you use fire stocks. So even though Mai, and actually I think all these characters in this game, Capcom's been really doing a good job of giving them a lot of depth. And I think all these characters have a lot of depth, but you don't need it in like the first couple hundred hours that you're playing, right? All right, so in general, I think most Shoto characters, because their game plan is pretty straightforward, I think they're on the easier end, and I think Akuma's probably the hardest Shoto in terms of for new players, because you have so many different options, right? When I've seen other people play this character, they usually like leaving a couple options on the table, where realistically you have to use this whole kit to kind of get the most out of the character, right? But once you do, he's very strong. So what do I mean by that, right? You have to use air fireball, you have to use air EX fireball, you have to use demon flip, you have 3 different follow-ups to the demon flip, you have 3 different distances the demon flip can go. You have fireball, you have charge fireball, and then you also have, like, you know, different special moves and a lot of good buttons to press, but there's not like a very one obvious thing to spam. Like for example, Ken, you have Jinrai kick. With Ryu, you have the palm and the charge fireball. With Mai, you have EX fan. With Terry, you have burn knuckle. Akuma, I feel like you have to use most of his tools. This is like the obvious thing to spam is the stand heavy kick, but realistically, like compared to all the other tools I just listed, this falls off way quicker because they can just crouch block and punish you for a full combo if they're actually crouching. Oh, I guess they have to be blocking, huh? I did not know that. And then you get full combo, right? But I still think he's on the easier end. You know, DP, fireball, drive rush, do good combo, do good damage. The other thing that I think is a little less forgiving about him is he only has 9,000 health. So as a new player, I think you want kind of all the health you can get to so you can make more mistakes. All right, so Rish, I think this character is definitely harder than Akuma, even though I have them in the same tier. And that's because, again, you don't have anything super abusable. You don't have a DP. You have to use this anti-air, which is a little trickier, right? Because like if they jump out of range, or they like empty jump, like let's say right here, like a lot of characters, you know, their DP would hit here. You're just whiffing, right? So you have to be a lot more careful trying to anti-air the Super Mario Bros and Platinum. You also have you have Fireball. The Fireball's decent, but it's still good. I mean, it's actually a very good Fireball. And it's still good at low level because you can do stuff like this and then throw this out and now you're plus and you go in. But I feel like in order to get the diamond for Rashid, you definitely need to know a few combos, right? The other thing I'd say about Rashid is this move right here, this Arabian Cyclone. Very good. This is actually probably the most abusable thing he has, because if you do this heavy punch into heavy Arabian Cyclone, you're +1 on block, and then you get like you know, confirm, or you can go for a throw. Very, very abusable, right? And the way you beat this is you interrupt it, but you can do the medium punch to beat the people interrupting. As you can guess, it's a really strong move, and the only real good way to beat this at a high level is either time a jab correctly or do perfect parry, right? Which are both like really hard, and no one's going to be doing that until like high master, right? Other than that, yeah, with Rashid, you just, you know, use this fast movement, drive rush overhead, probably the best overhead in the game actually. The fact that it goes so far forward, crouch medium kick, drive rush. Like actually every single character on this list besides Aki has a low cancelable medium that goes into full combo. But yeah, learn the combos. Also, I somehow almost forgot this. Probably the best level 2 in the game. Throw this out, do this kind of stuff. Yeah, honestly, this character's not crazy hard, and I still think he's really, really good for beginners. All right, so I think Ed and Aki are definitely like a very noticeable step harder than the rest of the characters that are for DLC, right? I think the thing that makes Ed a little bit weird is, again, you have to have very good neutral. The thing about Ed is his strength is neutral. And when you think of an easy to play character, you think of like a character you can just throw out moves and you can just kind of do stuff and force the opponent to respond. Where Ed, you really have to play reactive, right? You have to be really good at like anti-airing. His DP is not the best for that. You have to be good at checking DI because Ed's very susceptible to DI. So if you're ever doing this stuff, people are going to start spamming DI, which means you need to have your DI reactions up. And you just have to have really good spacing with some of his normals. His normals are great, and this character is great at high level. But it requires you to like have good fundamentals. Honestly, it's still good for learning the game, right? Because you're gonna develop good habits by playing it. There's not like anything abusable. I'd say the most abusable thing this character has at low level is the stand heavy punch EX flicker. Which, you know, this is +4, which means you get a guaranteed throw attempt, or you can do like jab and the throw, jab, jab, throw. You get the idea. It's definitely good, but like, yeah, at high level, people are definitely checking this. I think this one is definitely way easier to check than like some of the Rashid stuff, because you just press DI, right? Which is pretty much like what all of the, like everyone at low ranks doing anyways, right? So I think overall, this character relies on you having good neutral, but he develops like the right kind of habits and the right kind of mindset you need to play Street Fighter. So definitely any character on this list, if you think you want to play this character, I would stick with them. Also, he has a godlike level 2. You do this and they just die. I mean, you could do like really basic combos like this. But when you get really good with the character and you really want to optimize them, you have to do like some pretty hard combos, some of the hardest combos in the game actually. But it's part of what makes the character really good and really fun. All right, so last character is Aki, and I actually mained this character for a while. I'm back on Kim. I think this character is hard. I've tried, because when I play Aki, a lot of people ask me for Aki coaching. I've coached quite a few beginner Aki players, and I have to say this character is very, very hard to teach at low level. The reason is her basic game plan requires you to do fireball drive rush. This is like the core of the character. You have to be able to do stuff like this. So the first lesson I would give any Aki player below like platinum is, I'm sorry, but you have to learn combos. You have to learn this. If you just learn this combo right here, or sometimes I'll teach them to do like this. I call this the Aki infinite, right? If you can learn to do this, you're probably gonna be diamond. But this is a hard sequence to get down. Other than that, you know, you have to throw fireballs. Her anti-airs are hard to use. She has 3 different anti-airs, and none of them all cover like the exact angles you need. So it's a little tricky to use, and she has like some other trickery. Like she has slide. This is actually probably the most abusable thing, and it's really good. This EX Cruel Fate. You're +2, which means you get a guaranteed throw attempt. And then they have to tech, and if you think they're gonna tech, you just hold up. Yeah, really, really cool character. I actually really like this character, but because they're so combo heavy, and they require you to play very reactive in terms of like anti-air and just the general playstyle. And you have to like use drive rush, which I think is like not the easiest things for new players to be used, because like they'll do this stuff, they'll do really slow drive rush, or they'll just fuck up drive rush. I think she's definitely on the harder end. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just want to give an update to the video I posted on the main channel, because I get a lot of people in the comments asking, you know, is this still up to date, or, you know, what about the new characters? These are my thoughts. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Take care and peace.